What's in your teeth?
Candy.
Oh, yummy.
So I can enjoy it throughout the show.
Oh, good. Make sure it's a hard candy and click it on your teeth a little bit.
No, it's like crushed in my teeth.
Oh, so we'll just hear the smacking of your as you try to suck the candy out. Yep. Some good old sucking. We're good at that.
But it'll help my sickness.
Sickness. Pray tell sickness.
Yeah, as you know, but you're playing it up. I got my first COVID.
Yay, everyone. Round of applause.
Yeah.
Round of applause.
Yeah, I joined the club.
One of us.
I don't think my children had had it before either. And this time we all got it.
Oh, everybody.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Sean's was delayed.
I was going to
say
one
son's was delayed. Yeah. We first, my wife wasn't feeling good. And in Canada, the tests aren't free anymore.
Yay. I have some expired ones you could have.
Yeah, we should have, but we threw our expired ones out last week or 2 weeks ago, I guess it was. And then we needed them. And if you go into our local drugstore, Shoppers Drug Mart, they used to just be free all the time. I asked and they're like, oh, you got to get them behind the counter. So I asked the lady at the counter. She says, yeah, we have them, but they're $6 each.
At least it's not terrible, at least.
Not a box of 15 like you used to get, or whatever it was, 10. It's usually one test, $6.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the first day I went to get one, which was for my wife, Shoppers was having a friends and family discount day. So I got 25% off that and the caramel popcorn that I bought.
Oh, beautiful.
To go along with, some COVID and caramel popcorn. So my wife tested and she tested positive. And we're all feeling okay. And then that night I'm like, oh, my throat, something's wrong. Like late that night, but just before bed, like freaking, I don't know, 12 o'clock or 1 a.m. or something like that. And then in the morning, what day was this? I can't remember. I think it was last Friday, but it was before that, the Friday before. Anyway, my daughter and I both woke up feeling sick. And so she stayed home from school and I stayed off work. That must have been Thursday. Yeah, because it was Wednesday was when my wife was sick, I think. Anyway, we tested and we were both positive. So my son wasn't having any symptoms at all. So he continued to go to school and everything seemed fine. And we thought, well, maybe he was sick like a month ago. Maybe he caught it then and his immunities are still good. And we never tested him then because we didn't think it was COVID. He didn't have the right symptoms, whatever. Maybe it was. So 3 days later, he starts getting symptoms too. So, yeah. So we tested him. No, we didn't ever test him.
You just assumed.
I don't think so. I think we
Guilty
just assumed
by association.
It was, yeah, he had the exact same symptoms at that point. So we figured it was the same. But my wife is clear now. She took another test because her mom had some expired ones, and we did that, and she tested negative today. So I assume the rest of us are going to soon, if not already.
Nice.
I'm still stuffed up, and I think that's really it. Just tired, I guess.
Well, we wouldn't want to continue. We wouldn't want to end our streak of being sick on the podcast. So
yeah, it's great. It's like literally 3 weeks of being fine and then 1 week of being sick.
Right, and that's the week we record. Yeah.
Yeah. We had to delay the recording by 2 days. I mean, this isn't the worst case scenario anyway for you for editing, but
it's better in general. Last week was not ideal for me either. So it worked out.
Not 2 days. It was like 4 days. Jeez, I can't.
Yeah, it was 4 days. Yeah. Counting. Yeah. Lovely. We've been dealing with some sort of sickness around here. My youngest has it, but it's not COVID. Doesn't have the right symptoms, but he's just got something viral. We don't know what it is. Took him to the doctor. They're just like, yeah, it's just viral. He's just got to get through it. So he was off 3 days last week of school. He's going to be off again tomorrow. So just can't quite get it. So
who knows? Is he playing games?
Sometimes.
My son just wanted to stay home and play games too.
Yeah.
So
I think he just got used to. He had 3 days off school last week, and so he was just like, "Oh, I can just be sick and not have to go to school." And then he realized he's starting to come around on that. So we have to be a little bit more strict. So we made him go yesterday and today, And then tonight he was actually not doing very good. So we're like, well, maybe it's real this time. So whatever. We'll do a day and then we'll see.
Yeah.
It's senior kindergarten. It's not he's not doing a whole lot over there. So yeah. So we legitimately haven't talked.
No, I know.
Since the last episode.
Except when I texted you on Thursday to say I'm sick and I can't record podcast.
Yeah, or like little things here and there, but yeah,
I did message you about something else. Tickets for the game that we couldn't go to because we were sick and
yeah.
And then I send you things all the time trying to get you to buy things.
Hasn't worked recently.
No. Or you sent me a funny one of some person messaging you on Facebook Marketplace. Oh, you messaged them. Is it still available? Sorry, it is available. Did that go anywhere?
Yeah, I did get it.
Okay.
I just wrote him like I sent him back like a face? Like what?
Yeah,
what does this mean?
Thinking inquisitive.
And he finally wrote back. He's like, sorry, I was saying sorry because I haven't replied in several days. But yes,
sorry.
it is available.
Yes, it's available. I gotcha. Wow. Well, at least he answered and he had clarified because I've had worse.
Just nothing goes nowhere.
I've still been selling cords from that batch of or that big bag of audio cables that I got, mostly audio cables. I had someone buy one just the other day. Then I had someone else also a no-show. He said he was going to come during the day, and then he's just like, "Oh, I'm already home. I forgot." Yeah, so go back out.
Too bad, yeah.
Maybe I'll come Friday, he says.
Yeah, those are just they're deadbeats.
I don't believe you, man. Yeah.
I had a good streak of selling some stuff. I found just before winter started, I found it's like a couple toboggans and some skates and hockey helmets and hockey pads. So I had those stockpiled. So once you got that first dose of winter, kind of right after Christmas, I posted all those up and everything got snatched up pretty quick. So
nice.
Yeah.
That's good. I saw people after Halloween buying up Halloween decorations cheap or free to save up for next year. The one guy that used to live in Kitchener, now he lives in Dartmouth in Halifax. He was doing that, buying the blow mold pumpkins, which can go for a lot of money. He was buying them cheap, like $20 for one, and turn around and sell it next year for like 150.
Yeah, man, that's the way to do it.
Yeah.
The problem is you just have to store it for that long.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. We all know that you and I love storing things.
We love storing things. More importantly, our wives love that we store things.
We store things for them too, so that's the way I usually argue it.
Yeah. Well, speaking of
I did
that,
a Josh thing.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. I went to a thrift store, saw a video game that was priced high but lower than retail, and I bought it.
Wow. You're just committing to the system. You're encouraging their pricing.
I used a coupon.
Okay, well, a little bit better.
But I forgot their coupons also have a max.
Max of like $50, I think it is.
Yeah, max of $50 value. Like not how much you can get off. Yeah. It's 20% off of max of $20 or $50
max
value.
$50, yeah.
So I bought Pokemon
very nice.
Crystal for Game Boy Color. And it is in great condition. It looks flawless. I thought it was fake. It was so flawless.
What's the price? You can't just.
The price on it was $149.99.
Woof.
Canadian for those interested. So I think it came out to $127.50, and there's also no tax right now on games.
On video games, yeah.
So it's currently worth $225-ish.
Okay.
So I think it's
make $100 on it.
Yeah, that would be nice.
I hate giving them that much money, but
at your table at the Game Swap.
Fair enough.
Preferably in your display case.
Yeah.
That's one of the last things I've bought for a while, or only things I bought for a while to plan to resell too.
I bought a original Xbox today from Value Village for, again, more than I would like, but I'm taking a chance. It was $50. It came with all the hookups and 2 controllers. So last time I flipped them, I was flipping them for 100 to 120, and I feel like they're going up now. So it's a double up. Is worth it.
Yeah, you seemed to sell them decent last time, didn't you? Like you sold one and someone else asked about one or something? I can't remember.
Something like that, yeah. That's kind of my game plan, I think, for Toronto Game Expo. I think I'm going to try to get a few more consoles, try to have like maybe not one of each, but try to at least have a good selection, because I feel like there's not a lot of consoles at these places, especially stuff like
they seem to sell
like Xbox, PS2, PS3. Like those are the things. Like people just like, I just want one generation back, kind of thing, or 2 generations back. Like I think everybody who wants an NES has one by now. Anybody who wants a Super Nintendo has one by now. So it's like that next generation of, okay, people want stuff a little bit newer, but
we've done good with the PS1s, PS2s before.
Yeah,
I always do modded Xboxes.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Have you tested it?
Not yet.
There's so many issues they could have.
They could. I know. I asked to plug it in. I saw that the light was green. I made sure the disk drive opens and closes.
Okay. Because sometimes the light will go green when you plug it in, but then it'll eject right away, and that's a sign that there's corrosion on the board from the capacitor leaking.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It did not go in right away. It stayed out until I pushed the button.
And then you push the button, and it came out. Because that's another common problem, is the belts get dry and slip.
Yeah. Yeah, I've had that. I've replaced a few with just like a more sturdier rubber band or whatever. That
I've taken the belt out and cleaned it, or just wet it, and it usually works.
Sorry, yes, decent, that's what I did.
Yeah. I have spare belts too, out of VCR, like a VCR belt kit that I bought off Amazon a while ago, thinking I might need it for VCRs and haven't yet. But
yeah, for the right size.
There's probably some in there that'll work.
Yeah. So we'll see. Yeah, I've got that. I've got 2 PS1s, 2 PS3s, a Wii U.
It's going to be an interesting event because it's 2 days.
I know. So I'm trying to stock up so that I can have stuff for day 2. Because by the end of day 1, I'm not, I don't want to say empty, but there will be holes that need to be filled.
Yeah. And we're kind of assuming that there'll be as many people on day 1 as there was on the regular show.
Yeah.
That people aren't gonna. Well, I don't know. I don't know how it's gonna work for sure. It depends.
We don't know.
It's gonna be the first time. Haji, tell us what it is.
Is it going to be like one person, like people come on one day and not the other, so you have different people both days? You have the same people going. It's probably going to be a mix of both, to be honest. Like some people are going to come for both, and some people are going to just come for one. So you kind of want to have new stuff, and you want to rotate. And so I'm curious. This is just me speculating. I'm sure Hodge will let everybody know. I'm curious about like booth security, like overnight.
Yeah.
Like, how does that work?
There's gonna be more expensive stuff there than yours.
Yeah, I know for sure. But hopefully, I mean, but I also leave stuff out that shouldn't be, because I only bring one display case, so some of my expenses sits out. So I might bring like a tote that I can put a padlock on, kind of thing.
Or just put in your backpack for the night. If it's like one backpack worth of stuff, wouldn't be the worst to bring back with you.
Yeah.
Everything over $100 or over 200 even.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, I am curious how that's going to work too. They did a post looking for volunteers, I saw.
Yeah.
And then there was only 10 tables left or something like that.
I volunteer to sell my stuff at your swap.
I don't think that's the way it works.
Oh, but it could.
It's an unpaid position, you have to pay us position.
I'm working at a net negative here. I'm trying to get
they got a net neutral. Volunteers than that.
Oh, that's funny.
Are you guys planning on staying up there, or are you driving the way back each day?
I'm not sure. I have a few options. I have my cousin also sells at the show. She's in the artist. She doesn't live lives between me and my house, so it's a little bit closer. So she offered for me to come and hang out with her. So that is an option. The option is also to come back. I was thinking I maybe bring my son for one day. Maybe we'll see how that goes.
Not bringing our kids this time.
Yeah, that's fair.
We're also thinking of going up Friday night, make it a date night kind of thing.
Yeah, for sure. The thought. I also have friends who live closer. I could possibly just stay with them, and that'd be good to catch up with them. And they're not far. The option also came up for me to try stealth camping in my car in Toronto.
If you're gonna do it, you gotta do it in a roundabout.
Yeah, exactly. The busiest roundabout, busiest intersection. But I was just thinking of like renting a parking spot, getting a place that has overnight parking, and just like hanging out in the back. The problem with that being bringing all my stuff and all my game stuff in one car is tough. So I was also thinking maybe of just renting a U-Haul van, and then I could do everything in one and just have it for the weekend. Options.
More investment cost.
Yeah, a little bit, but cheaper than a hotel room.
Yes, until you get a ticket from the cops for sleeping in your vehicle.
Well, I would hope that they wouldn't. That's the idea. Is I would get into a spot that like I would pay for a spot. You know what I mean? Like that has overnight parking.
Yeah.
So it would, or like a parking garage. So it's a little bit harder to.
I thought Walmarts were all fine with it. That's what I've read.
I don't know about downtown Toronto if they're okay with it.
Yeah. Well,
have to go to the outskirts.
Drive out of downtown.
Yeah.
We were thinking of just staying in a hotel near Mississauga because it still gets us that much closer.
Yeah.
And cheaper too for a hotel.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see. My options are still fluid at the moment.
We actually accidentally booked. No, tomorrow we have a plan to book a hotel room for the event.
Okay.
There is hotel discounts through. No, not hotel discounts. A block of rooms.
A block, yeah.
Yes. As far as I know, there's no discount on it, and it's an expensive hotel as far as I saw too.
But you're paying for the convenience of being right beside.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I mean, good for Hodge.
I think it was over 200 a night.
It was closer to 3 when I looked.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you are downtown Toronto, right beside the convention center. So it is what it is. Those are Toronto prices. Hey,
aren't there like people who can't find people to rent anymore? Like that's coming up right now. I keep hearing videos about it. People saying,
really?
There's like rent prices are dropping like $100 a month in Toronto right now.
Oh, maybe, yeah, because in Toronto for sure, because everything is ridiculous.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Get an Airbnb. Find an Airbnb.
Yeah, that's what I was like. Maybe that's the option too, but
yeah,
those are always.
But I have freer options.
I don't. I mean, I could ask my cousin who lives in Georgetown, but that's not really.
It's not that much closer. Yeah.
No. Just ask Miles and Catherine.
Yeah. Hey, can we come and craft?
Pam.
I'm sure they would love to have some tons
Troy.
of people hanging out. Yeah.
Joe likes people.
Joe, yeah, right? That's true. He can have us in his guest house.
Yeah.
He's got enough room back there.
The pool house would be fine with me. I'm not picky.
The pool house, yeah. I'll stealth camp in his garage, in his driveway. They'll never see me. I'll be down and around the corner.
It's a gated community. You can't even get in there.
Well, listen. As long as I have a Honda, they'll never know.
Ah, boy.
Well, other than being sick,
yeah.
What else is new?
I watched a bunch of things.
Okay, well, come on. We're not there yet. Come on.
I have a question for you.
Okay.
Maybe you're planning on answering this already, but where's the new ABC challenge?
Oh man, I knew you were gonna ask this. I kind of ran out of creativity. I didn't really know what to do. I thought about doing like the same thing again, but making it a whole list of rewatches. You can only watch stuff you've already seen. Like flip the script a little bit. But
you could just do the same thing again.
That's boring. Nobody wants that.
I'd do it because there's already stuff that I had planned on watching and didn't get around to.
Yeah. I mean, we could do it again. I just feel like I don't know, we're beating a dead horse. Maybe, we got to have a bit of a breather in between. I will tell you though, it was such, I don't know what it is. Something about like having a challenge makes it feel like work. So like at the end of the year, I'm just like, I wasn't really enjoying watching the movies. I'm just like, I got to get this done. Like, I got to watch this movie. I got to fill up my list. You know what I mean? Not to say that the movies were bad, but I was just like, I felt like I was watching a movie for the sake of watching a movie to complete something versus watching what I actually wanted to watch.
Maybe if you hadn't left it to the end.
Well, exactly. But that's, have you met me? This is what I do.
That's what I usually do too, especially when it comes to like homework and stuff. But
yeah,
there is a way to do it without doing that. Like use math to your advantage.
It's been 36 years of me doing it like this. It is not going to change.
Speaking of which, how's your Cage movie watching going? Oh, wait. Still behind me.
We'll get there. Maybe I didn't fill out the list to surprise you.
I thought of that option and I didn't believe it.
Well, gird your loins. What else? Yeah, it was so freeing to just be able to watch something. I went on like a tangent and I was just able to watch all these movies in a row and not feel guilty that I wasn't fulfilling a list somewhere. So I don't know. Maybe
I kind of did the opposite in a way.
Did you? Okay.
I picked a category and went for it. Just did that list instead.
Okay, well, that works too.
Although I went way above that too. So.
Fair enough. On that note, where's my challenge for this year? I challenged you last year, and I didn't get it
either.
Come on,
ChatGPT come up with one for you. I don't know.
No, I want you to make it a very personal.
I personally challenge you to do a ChatGPT.
We're going to.
All right, we'll use the new one instead of ChatGPT. We'll use this fake seek or deep seek thing. Instead.
Oh, I haven't heard this. What's this one?
You haven't? Oh, geez, it made the stocks crash.
Did it? Oh,
yeah. China came out with their own ChatGPT alternative. They released it free on Android or on iOS, and they said that they trained it on hundreds of thousands of dollars instead of the billions, or maybe it's $1 million. I can't remember. Way less money than ChatGPT, Google, and Facebook, Meta are all doing on theirs. They said we have old hardware because NVIDIA won't let us. Basically, the U.S. government won't let us have the newest video cards to do training on. So they trained the model on the old video cards, and they did it with less money, and they did it in less time. So that made all the current players. It's supposed to be like equivalent, basically.
Okay.
Obviously, except it's trained in China. So I heard mumblings of it being not anti-China.
It doesn't recognize Tibet.
It would not answer a question a guy asked about Tibet. Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. Doesn't say anything against communism. Yeah.
Yes.
That's fair.
But it is also supposed to be released as open source too, which means anybody can use it.
Anybody can use it.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Which would be interesting if you had a whole bunch of competitors pop up for ChatGPT and stuff. But apparently stocks all took a huge hit, hardware and software companies in the tech place. But that was a couple days ago.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. It'll all bounce back anyway.
Yeah.
Just fluctuations.
Maybe one company will die in the process, but we'll see.
True. We can only hope, right?
Well, depends on the company.
Yeah. I've been distracted for the past couple weeks. That's another reason I haven't been talking very much anywhere. So I got through 1 week of work this year, and then I got pulled into the office randomly and was told that they no longer want me to drive a truck.
Oh. They want you to manage a whole team of truck drivers.
Instead, I am managing a whole team of truck drivers.
Which you had said that came up in conversation with your boss before, that they were wanting
a while
you to
ago,
do that?
yeah. A while ago, they had offered it, and I had said no because they had offered another position, and then so those old positions are no longer there because the company they had started doesn't exist anymore for that position. So this was the consolation position that I refused back then, but now I've accepted. So I am now the dispatcher and fleet manager for my company.
No more garbage fines.
No more garbage fines. It is the
What
end of an era.
Are you to me anymore?
It's the end of an era.
I don't need to kiss your ass anymore.
We're done. That's it.
It's over.
Yeah, it actually is. It's kind of sad. But yeah, I started work second. It was the second. They offered me the job on Tuesday. I came back in on Wednesday and said yes. And then they said, okay, start on Monday. So I had 2 days of just kind of like, shit, this is it. Like 2 days of like closure on driving a truck. It was very strange. So,
got your thrifting in.
I got some thrifting in. Yep. That's the thing is like, it's a huge, everything is different now. Everything is different.
Now you're one of those office guys that gets to talk shit about the drivers.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it is a good fit.
GPS.
I do track them on. I probably watch them more than anyone ever has. It is a good fit because I know the trucks, I know the bin sizes, I know what can go where, what the trucks are able to do, what they can't do. And so like I'm in the middle of something and I hear someone taking an order across the room for the blah 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 and I'm like, absolutely not. Absolutely do not do that. So, I mean, I'm only in week 3. This is my 3rd week doing it. I'm pretty much on my own.
So every time you tell them that they shouldn't do something that they were going to do, you need to just write down the date and how much money you estimate that saved the company. So when it comes to performance review time, you can be like, this isn't a big deal, but just as me being in this new role, I've observed these things that I think have directly saved money.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. It can't hurt.
Can't hurt.
You always have to fight for yourself or else you're going to get screwed. No raises.
I guess I'll learn that. So when my boss offered me the job, it was a very strange kind of, I'll say interview in quotes, because it wasn't really an interview. Normally you get pulled into an interview and it's like, okay, tell me why you're right for this job, right? You got to sell yourself.
Yeah.
Whereas they know I have reservations about doing this. And so it was kind of like I got pulled into an office and instead he was telling me why I was right for the job.
Which is nice.
Which is nice.
Was there a pay raise with it?
Pay raise. I am salaried now. 3 weeks paid vacation. Like, so, I mean, technically, it could be a bit of a loss if you considered like all my training bonuses that I would have had, or let's say if I also started later than everybody when I was trucking because I would take the kids to school in the morning and you know I'd come in late and leave early, that kind of thing. So if I would work regular trucking hours like everybody else, I would be comparable.
Okay.
With my training bonuses that I would have had on top of that.
But now you're in the office, like actually working less hours than you would have, or than you were in the truck, or?
I think I'm still working about the same. So I start at 6:30 and I work till 3:30.
Okay.
So now it sucks because I'm there before everybody else. I'm the first person in the office. I have to get in and it's like, it's go time. I have to get in and I have to look at the dispatch board and I have to make split decisions that are going to affect me for the rest of the day. I've got 20 minutes to decide where everybody's going to go and in what order they're going to do things. And if I get it wrong, I am screwed come noon time because everybody's going to be in the wrong spot. So it is tiring. It is The first week I was sick, so I was like trying to get through and then getting sick. Second week, getting better, but still like rough. And it's just like training my brain to work now. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's a whole different skill set. I was exhausted. I would come home from work and be more tired than I ever was driving the truck.
Yeah. Yeah. That's how I feel sometimes when I'm doing my job. I'm sitting at a desk, so I shouldn't be tired, but I'm just problem solving all day long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a different kind of tired. Like I always explained like driving a truck. Everyone's just like, you're driving a truck. It's not hard. It isn't hard. You're right. But you are mentally aware the entire time. Imagine driving from here to Ottawa and back every day. That's basically what I was doing.
And you're not just driving your car. You're driving a truck that's big, could do real damage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you have to be alert. And yeah. So, think about how you drive, when you go up to the cottage or wherever, and you're just tired at the end of it, right? But so that's what I'm just doing that every day. So it's a different kind of tired. Mm-hmm. And I was not prepared for coming into an office and just being so mentally exhausted on top of being sick. I would just come home and just crash, like just absolutely crash. I'm also a night owl, so it was a huge flip on my sleep schedule. I would stay up till midnight, 1 o'clock every night. And now I can't do that because I have to be up and there before all the other truck drivers are there. Yeah, it's very, very strange. I told my boss when he offered it, I was just like, I just want to make sure you're aware. You say I'm right for this job. I want to make sure you are aware. I've never had an office job before. So there's going to be, you're training me to do this job and training me to be in an office at the same time. So, hold back your judgment or your expectations of what you expect out of me. And I said, for the first 2 or 3 days, I just want to sit in the office and get in the groove because I don't know what the flow of an office is like.
Yeah. So, let alone a garbage truck office.
Yeah, a garbage truck office. I mean, I've been there for bits of it. I've been pulled into tiny meetings or, a product demo or something that they're thinking of implementing. That kind of stuff over the past few years I've been brought into. But being brought in and seeing everything, I'm seeing all the shit that goes down, and it's ridiculous how much work happens in there. I always thought office people are lazy. I'm like, what are they even doing there? There's nothing to do. Holy smokes, that place never stops moving. When you just see everything's get laid out. And then things that I didn't think would be a problem, like wearing different clothes every day to work. Right? It's weird. That's a weird thing to be a problem.
It's weird to be a problem because I've never had it be a problem. I just do it.
Yeah, exactly. But I've been wearing a uniform for the past 8 years.
Yeah.
Right? I go down and I wear the same clothes every day. I put on the same pair of boots every day. I put the same sweater on every day. Because that's the outfit.
I have to worry about wearing the same funny shirt as my coworkers. I can't do that. So I'm consciously aware of which ones the two guys that sit with me wear and have the same as me.
This is the problem. And so I'm just like, well, I'm trying to like rotate my hoodies so I don't go to work wearing the same hoodie 2 days in a row.
That's a problem. Blue Jays hat stays.
Actually, I wore my Blue Jay hat for the first week, but I did go in the first week and I talked to the person who's training me, who I've known for several years. I was like, I need an embroidery file for our logo. And she was like, okay. And so she just like took the file and like emailed me all the logos. So I took the logo, I went to Lids and I got a custom hat made with the logo that would look nice. So I wear that to work now. But now I've created another problem because all the other drivers come in and see me wearing this super nice hat, which wasn't cheap because it's a custom hat. And they're all like, get me one of those hats. I'm like, I ain't getting you any, I'm not buying you this hat. You can go get your own.
Sounds like a good Christmas bonus.
This is a $90 hat. I'm not
the boss to buy.
Yeah. My boss did notice, and he was just like, "That's a really nice hat." And I said, "See what happens?" And the drivers who never wear the company hats all look at me and said, "I would wear that hat." So
we had that problem at my last job, the drone place, where the guys in the US office had these really nice winter jackets that were all done with the logos on them. And they were bought by the company, but the US division.
Oh.
So we tried to talk our boss into doing the same thing because we were doing the same job as them. We were flying outside during the winter time. We needed warm coats, but we had to do our own, right? Yeah. And we were just trying to convince him into doing those same jackets, but we couldn't talk him into it. The guys on my team tried for a good year and a half or so, just always bringing it up whenever possible. They even told the US guys to bring the jackets up when they came to visit us for some training course.
And they didn't?
And they did bring them up, but it didn't work to convince the boss because they were just too expensive. They're like $300 jackets.
Oh, geez.
Some brand name. I don't know it.
I did get a branded jacket this summer. I got a winter jacket because it was my 5-year. It was a 5-year jacket, even though I've been there for 9 years. They're just like, "Oh, we should do something for 5 and 10 years." So I got my 5-year jacket this year, and I'm going to get my 10-year jacket next year.
I got a 1-year gift, but ours is you get a website to choose from of all the things that they have available. And I'm just like, this is all crap. It's all $20 items from Amazon. Like, stupid. Yeah. So I ended up getting an Anchor 10,000 milliamp hour charger battery pack. Yeah. It's like, this is something I'll actually use. It's a small, nice little one, and it's Anchor, so I trust it.
You've been at your job for 1 year now?
Over a year. December 14th was a year. Yeah.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
That time flew, man. Holy.
Yeah. Yeah, it did.
I believe that. My company also were planning on doing something like that. Like, oh, you can get something and you can redeem it on a website kind of thing. And they wanted to do that. It's like, remember all the guys, most of our drivers.
I think you told me about this at the time.
Probably. Yeah. They're all semi-retired and none of them not very tech savvy. And I was just
and all you're doing is paying a company to do this management of stuff.
Yeah.
And then they take a cut of the money you could have just given to your employees anyway.
That's exactly what I told them. They did the whole thing and they looked at me. This was while I was a driver. They told me that they did this. This is one of those meetings I got brought into.
Yeah.
And they were all excited about it. And at the meeting end, they all looked at me like, "Josh, what do you think?" I was like, "I hate it. I hate every bit of this. This sucks."
Yeah. As someone who's worked at 3 companies that did this, it's terrible. I can say for a fact it's terrible every time.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're rarely finding what you want.
I was like, just give them the cash, give them a gift card, give them a bonus somewhere else where you can write it off as an expense if you need to, but don't do this. Like, this is absolute garbage. These are all blue collar guys who are living paycheck to paycheck. They don't need a rechargeable battery bank or an air fryer.
Yeah. I got a KitchenAid, one of those stick mixer things 1 year. Like, that was what I did. I got some like glasses that were like fancy drinking glasses that are like the hollow glass. You know what I mean? Like, it looks like it's handmade. Obviously it's not, but hollow glass, those things broke in like a week. It's trash. Yeah.
Yep. That's all it is.
Yep.
So anyways, so I'm just moving and shaking and trying to mix things up at work and having some success and some not success, but I think it is for the better, I think. So we'll see. I told them a long time ago, I said I don't want to drive a truck for the rest of my life. And I thought they'd forgotten after the last thing fell apart. So, but hey, here we are.
There you go. I remember working for a moving company when I was in grade 12 or something like that. Like, it was just before college. And I did it for just a summer. And I remember the one guy who was the one who went out and quoted the jobs. And he was basically dispatch as well. He was, I remember respecting the hell out of him because he was so damn good at it. And that's what I think of with you doing this, is just like, you have the experience. He did it in the field for so long that he was able to do the job well, which made everybody else's job easier.
Yeah.
Like, he would go out to a house and see it, just walk through the house, take him 5 minutes. And he'd be like, okay, we need this size truck, this many guys. It'll take us this many hours. And he was always spot on. It was ridiculous.
Wow,
never any surprises.
Yeah. Yeah. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We'll see if I can live up to the expectations. They gave me an out. They said if I don't like it after 3 months or whatever, I can always go back to a truck. So
okay,
the out is there.
Do you think it'll be any better in the summer when it comes to like unbusy times?
It will and it won't. So right now we're running into supply issues. Say we need a certain size bin for these customers, but we don't have them, and these bins have already been sold like last week. So I need to find a bin for that customer, which means I need to steal it from another customer, which means calling them, hey, are you done with your bin? Blah, 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 blah. Oh, I need it for an extra day. And that means I'm dealing with another customer. Hey, I can't get you this size. Can I get you one size down that I can quote you this price and blah. So I'm not supposed to be doing all that work. My job is to run the trucks. And my job is like, I'm the last person to answer the phones. But if there's a problem with the bins, then that kind of gets shuffled down to me, and then that's where I kick in.
And then who decides whether you need to buy more bins to keep up with demand?
Yeah, so that's been the thing. Apparently, that's been an ongoing discussion with management and the owners who have decided, even since I started, they're changing their whole management ethos and systems and whatever. So, part of that is kind of setting your 10, your 5, and your 1 year goals. And so today we had a goals meeting and they said, well, in 10 years, we want to be this. Well, part of that is if you want to have that much money, we need more bins because we can't do that with the bins that we have. And the bins that we have are junk. So we need
invest in the company. Yeah.
Yeah. And I was just like, if we're running at capacity, all the bins that we have are out now. Imagine what's going to be like in summer when we're busy.
Yeah.
Like we don't have anything
on your possible income. Yeah.
And I said, and we're spending all this time that I'm spending chasing down bins, I could be spending doing something else.
Yeah. And are you guys still repairing bins? Is that like
we are when we can. Unfortunately, it is like minus whatever out right now, and welding in the cold doesn't work that great. So we're trying, but I also am just pushing that, hey, it's going to take 3 months for these bins to come in. So we need to put an order in now.
Yeah.
So in 3 months when we need them, they're here. So I also think it also helps. So other than so it's a family run business. It's the owner and the owner is one of the sons. And so he's got his brother and his dad. So it's like a family run, all of them. Other than those boys, it's all women in the office, which is another reason I think when I went to the office, the boss office, he's like, I think we need another man in the office just to kind of like balance things out a little bit more. Because there's a lot of like high school drama situations going on where people just not getting along or arguing over stupid things.
You should just bring in a pregnancy test and just throw it in the garbage can there. just don't say anything.
Don't say anything.
Wait for someone to notice it and figure out try and figure out whose it is and why it's there and who's having a baby.
It'd be very easy. So
stir up that drama.
So that also made as sexist as it might sound, having a male voice say, hey, we need bins, can also count for something as well. Because they've had women telling them for however long, and as much as yes, they do know their job and they know what they're talking about, and they are smarter than me at this job, just having a different voice.
Echoing the same message, yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
I can see that.
So we'll see.
Well, I don't have anything else that I have thought of to talk about in terms of what I've done, but I do want to warn everybody that in less than 2 weeks from when you're hearing this, probably maybe even beyond that, it's already too late. Valentine's Day is coming up.
So you have our not so special Valentine's merch drop ready to go? Is that what you're saying?
My point is, think about it if you have someone to buy for. Because I just realized
we got to plug somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah. We have merch.
We should have merch. I would wear merch.
The one person who buys it.
Exactly.
We can do merch. TeePublic is easy.
Exactly.
I can upload the design right now if I wanted and have t-shirts ready to go.
Do it right now. I want it to be the shittiest DPI ever.
Our logo. It's you don't have a choice. It's as crappy as it is.
Perfect. That's funny.
Let's look into that. We'll just end the show early, and I'll do that now. How about that?
Okay, well, listen, this is a Tuesday, so we can't go late tonight because I got to be up early.
I can't go late tonight. I can barely deal with what I'm doing right now after the day I've had and being sick.
Who was complaining? I was listening to STC, and they're saying every podcast is getting long. And ours was the first one they mentioned that was going long. And now Retro Nonsense and all these other ones are coming in and causing, Polykill, 2.5, 3-hour episodes. I think we've set the trend now for long episodes. So maybe we need to start, scaling back and start setting the trend for short episodes again.
Maybe. Well, shit, we shouldn't have talked so much about your work.
I know. Too late. Time's up. That's it. we got 15 minutes to talk about everything we've watched.
Yeah.
No, that's the other thing. I don't have time for podcasts anymore. So now I have to go through and start cutting.
Oh, yeah.
I'm taking, like, when I take the kids to swimming or I took my kid to Taekwondo today, I'm just like, all right, this is my time doing dishes. I got to listen then.
I'm way behind on podcasts.
So I'm going through and just trying to catch up. So when you said, "Oh, have you listened to that podcast?" I was like, "No, I haven't," because I've been in the office and I haven't had time.
I have 146 episodes of podcasts downloaded and ready to be listened to.
Jeez, I'm not that bad.
Yeah,
but I am going through and culling the herd, so to speak.
Yep. I have too many podcasts. I realize that. I don't even know how to figure out how many I have, but it's too many. I don't know where that is in this app, but it's too much. It needs to be trimmed, and I can think of some already that need to be, and I've also trimmed some recently as well.
Yeah.
You
just can't listen to everything.
No, and some of them aren't worth listening to, like some of the other Nicolas Cage podcasts and some of this. Yeah, this one. We told you in the name it's not special.
Don't. If you need to call it out, if you need to call a podcast, we understand.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll take the hit. You're welcome.
Yeah, I've got too many as well. I definitely think so. But I still have a bunch of Nicolas Cage ones on here that I can remove. And then of course I added a new one last week. So
all right.
But I haven't even got to an episode for it yet because I'm so far behind.
Yeah. Yep. I gotta be picky. Real picky. Well,
not being picky is my movie watch list.
Yeah, let's hear this garbage that you these not so special movie picks that you apparently just diarrheaed all over.
A little bit. Some of them were just nostalgia. A lot of them were nostalgia, I'd say.
I've been having a nostalgia hit too, so I understand.
Well, did you watch 1993's Dennis the Menace?
It was brought up. My wife did say we should watch that.
Well, we watched it with the kids.
Okay.
It was decent. I forgot most of it.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if I saw the second one more and remember it better or not. Like maybe that's where I got introduced to the movie.
I think I knew there was a second one.
Yeah. I can't remember. I thought it has a different name or something. Dennis the Menace Strikes Again. Yeah. And it was 1998. So it's 5 years after. Oh, it's a different kid. Huh. That kid looks familiar too.
I remember the original's one. I remember. That's one with the flower, right?
Yeah.
That's the one I remember. I watched that one a bunch.
So the kid in Liar Liar, you know who that is?
Nope.
Okay. Well, that's the kid in this Dennis the Menace 2.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know why I don't. If I recognize, I don't know why I didn't remember this movie better, but I did remember parts of it. And the old guy, I forget his name. I just had it up, but he was like such perfect casting, right?
Yeah.
For the guy.
Yeah.
Apparently, Don Rickles plays the character, the old guy in the second movie.
Really?
Yeah. Walter Matthau. That's who it was. Yeah.
That was the first time that's the first role I ever saw him in, and everything I've seen him in since is Mr. Wilson.
It's either that or Grumpy Old Men. I think of him too.
Yeah, Grumpy Old Men, Grumpier. Isn't he Grumpier Old Men as well?
Probably. I didn't realize there was an
old. And he's in what's that? The one in the courtroom, like 12 Angry Men or something like that.
That's a lot of men in these movie names.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. was trying to look for it, but of course I don't see it. He stopped acting in 2000. I don't know when he passed. If he did, I'm assuming he did.
I'm assuming, yeah.
Yeah, he died in 2000. So he was acting right up until 2000.
Good for him.
Yeah. I'm trying to figure. Yeah, Grumpier Old Men. Grumpy Old Men. How the Grinch. I don't know. I don't see where you're talking about this other one.
12 Angry
Men or something.
I thought he was in that one. May not be. Maybe it was someone else. We also watched a movie with the kids, where Dennis the Menace was brought up as an option, but we opted for Honey, I Blew Up the Kid.
Have they seen the other ones first?
So yeah, we watched the first one last year, or 2023. I say last year. I don't know when that was.
Yeah.
And that my kids were, or my one son was pretty upset when the ant was killed by the scorpion.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Yep. I remember you talking about it.
Never mind the swearing and the smoking that happens in that movie.
Yeah, that doesn't matter.
No. But the second one, very, very kid friendly. And my kids found it hilarious. They really liked seeing the kid get big and the stuff that he was doing. And
so Honey, We Shrunk Ourselves is coming next.
It will be coming in next.
Got an even better rating than Honey, I Blew Up the Kid.
True.
Weird.
So, I also think when I told them, I'm just like, oh, hey guys, do you remember when we watched that movie, Honey, We Shrunk the Kids? And I was just like, we watched the second one, Honey, I Blew Up the Kid, and my son's face just went, they blew up the kid. He's like, I don't want to watch that movie. I'm like, no, not like blow up, like explode. I mean, blow up, like get big.
Yeah.
He's just like, I don't know about this.
Giant baby. That's all you need to say to him. That'll get him to watch it.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of classics, if you're done with that one,
I'm done with that one. That was just
we watched 1951's Alice in Wonderland.
Holy, the classic.
I wrote classic and weird. Considering how old it is, it's really weird, but it's based on a book or whatever, you know.
Well, yeah, it's a fairy tale, right? So they didn't really know how do you
they were definitely on all kinds of drugs when that was written. They have to have been, let alone when they were making it, the movie itself. Yeah, it was funny. Good. It's what I remember, although I swear I've seen a shorter version of it at some point because or like often, because that seemed longer and there was scenes I don't remember, like the very beginning. Right when she goes in, the first thing she does is see Tweedledee and Tweedledum, and I swear I don't remember that as well. And my wife said the same thing. I was wondering if there's a shorter edit of it or something. I don't know. There's other scenes I don't remember seeing too, but maybe it's just the other ones are more highlighted in pop culture or something like that. Not sure.
Yeah. Maybe. All right. Well, you might as well go. I don't have that many, so.
Well, I watched 2024's Wicked.
Oh, very nice.
Which is a number one in a series of two. I wrote, I don't remember very well, but I wrote, it's heartfelt and fun. It seems to be trying to deliver a message about bullying and treating everyone fair. There are lots of undertones of not trusting the government and authority figures. It definitely didn't need to be a two-parter, though. I think it feels like a little bit ridiculous to make.
The second part's not out, correct?
No, it's not.
Okay.
I think it's coming out next year, as far as I remember.
Did you go to the theater to watch this, or was
no?
Okay, I was curious.
No, we had thought about it, but yeah, we all watched it together as well.
Okay.
Yes.
Fair enough.
Kids liked it. Wife liked it. I think she thought it was less good than she thought it was going to be. I think.
Is it based on Snow White? I keep getting that.
No, it's based on Wizard of Oz.
Oh, Wizard of Oz. That's what it is.
Yes.
Sorry.
Yeah,
that's what I meant.
Wizard of Oz, but from the witch's point of view, basically. And before. It's like a prequel to Wizard of Oz.
Gotcha.
Telling how the Wicked Witch is the Wicked Witch.
Why she is wicked. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And is she really wicked?
Is she? Ooh.
Yeah. You should watch it. It's decent. It comes in at 2 hours and 40 minutes, though.
Yeesh. You had time for that?
Hey, we watched it. The kids are awake. That's a lot easier.
Did you watch it at 2.5 speed?
No, I did not. None of these I watched at 2.5 speed, although bits and pieces maybe.
All right.
No, I would have watched it 1.5 with the movie, I think.
All right.
Podcasts are much easier to listen to fast.
True.
Now, let me go another one.
Keep going. So my first bit of movies, I've got 3 movies I'm going to talk about. So
so I'll wait until I'm down to my last 3, is what you're saying.
No, I have other ones after that, but I need to. I think I watched 7. So
okay, I think I said I watched 18. Was that what I said? I can't remember.
So you could do a bunch.
Right.
Yeah.
So 2003's Champions with Woody Harrelson.
No, don't know.
And he is basically a former Major League Baseball coach, court ordered to manage a team of intellectual disabilities. It's really. I wrote down. So it's got Caitlin Olsen from Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Okay.
What's her name? The main girl in Always Sunny. Oh, you've never seen it?
No.
How have you not seen Always Sunny? Watch some Always Sunny. Just watch some random one.
Yes, I know. Episode. I know. I need to. That's on the list.
Anyway, it's funny. It's dirty, and it's wholesome. It's a good movie. Okay. I watched, as the Q Dogs just said they did. I realized Office Christmas Party from 2016.
Okay,
Jason Bateman, T.J. Miller from Silicon Valley, Kate McKinnon, Olivia Munn,
and Jim from The Office,
Jennifer Aniston,
and Jim from The Office.
Yes, I did not realize Jennifer Aniston was in the movie until she kind of shows up as like who's this badass, and they kind of hid who it was until the end, until they reveal. Yeah. And I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool. And then she actually did a decent job in the movie. I was worried she was going to overshadow or be too, celebrity.
Yeah.
Jason Bateman is a big celebrity too, but him with these other guys, these other people in it feels more at home, right? Mm-hmm. Even like Kate McKinnon is SNL. She's famous, but like she's not Jennifer Aniston, Jason Bateman even. But just Jennifer Aniston did, by the end of the movie, I felt like she was well suited for the movie and fit in well despite her bigger name. It was cool. I liked it.
I like that one.
The other day, my wife talked me into watching 1993's Sleepless in Seattle.
Some good old Tom Hanks and Meg Ryan.
I thought I had seen this before, but I guess not. I didn't write any notes for it. It is what you would expect a silly love movie to be.
Okay. You're in line with Duke, because I believe he also watched this.
Oh, okay. Well, I wrote down they have 3 movies together, Meg Ryan and Tom Hanks, Sleepless in Seattle, Joe vs. Volcano, and You've Got Mail.
Yeah.
I think Joe vs. Volcano, I remember being good, even though it was a flop at the time I read today.
Okay.
I
enjoy You've Got Mail.
Do you? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I think my wife watched that last year, and I watched bits and pieces, but I don't recall enough of it to say anything. But Sleepless in Seattle was fine. It was. I don't find it anything special, but there was some real cringeworthy moments with a child who goes on an airplane by himself. That's great. That's great. Like a 8-year-old who lies and says he's 12. Yeah. Just fly across the country by yourself.
Don't remember this part.
Then hop in a taxi.
It's been a long time.
Go to the Empire State Building and stay there for 5 hours or something all by yourself.
Wow. Okay.
Yep.
I don't remember this.
Then there is the series of movies that I decided to watch.
Okay.
1987's Ernest Goes to Camp.
Oh, you went the Ernest route. Uh-oh, here we go. Dang. Spawning from our Ernest talk last month.
Yeah. I've wanted to watch these for a while. I wanted to see if they were okay for my kids. I lost track of doing that partway through in a way, but I wrote some notes. I wrote Ernest Goes to Camp holds up, but it does use some outdated terms, like a lot of Indian referring to indigenous people. Okay, a lot, constantly, because they are at a camp that's owned by an indigenous man. And it's interesting. They still seem to do it, handle those topics fairly well, considering it's 1987. It could have been a whole lot worse. But then the fight scene was really weird, and I would not want my children watching, I don't think.
I don't remember this. I don't remember the fight scene.
Oh, he just gets his butt kicked from the construction workers, but
is it not done comedically?
It is, but it's almost it goes on too long and it's too violent.
Oh, okay.
Like I think he's bleeding. Yeah, he's bleeding. And my daughter does not want to see blood. She'll like just either pretend she's gonna throw up or almost throw up, like actually legitimately almost throw up.
All right, yeah.
Yeah, that wouldn't go over well. But other than that, I think it would be fine for them. And then I watched Ernest Goes to Jail, 1990.
Okay.
I wrote more serious in some ways, but still fun and zany is what I wrote.
Oh, okay.
I remember really enjoying this one as a kid too.
I remember really enjoying that one, and then I remember watching it, I'm gonna say 15 years ago, and being like, this doesn't hold up to my memories of it, and then I haven't watched it since for fear of it also getting worse in my mind. So. But maybe it's worth going back. I don't know.
I still enjoyed it. The hokiness of it was enjoyable to me.
Yeah.
And every time he does the old lady with the
neck
brace, I love it.
Yeah.
Then I watched Ernest Scared Stupid, 1991. I wrote, great, probably still too scary for my kids, especially the troll costumes at the end.
Yeah.
There's no way that they'd be able to watch that right now.
That one, yeah.
My son would be fine with it, but my daughter wouldn't, I'm sure. And then I subjected myself to Ernest Goes to Africa.
Oh, dear. You should have just finished it with Ernest Saves Christmas. What are you doing?
Well, Ernest Goes to Africa. I wrote probably lots of offensive things. Like
I remember watching this, I think, when we were in Africa, and we're like, what the heck?
I think you might have told me this last podcast. You were talking about it.
Maybe, yeah.
Pretty sure. Yeah. It was, I wouldn't. Oh, there was some things that were maybe one time I can think that's not good. And then another time where it's with him cross-dressing, and it was like, okay, that's not great. And then it's also like inappropriate for kids. And then one time there's two bad guys buried in the ground, and the head honcho bad guy calls over his rhino to play soccer with them, as in kick their heads off.
Their heads off, yeah.
And he blatantly says all these things, and then the scene cuts away, and you hear the rhino like trample or something that definitely implies it happened. I don't think it's so bad as like a melon squishing sound or anything like that, but they're like it's definitely they just killed them.
Yeah, well,
by severing their heads.
Death is not uncommon for quote unquote kids movies back then. So
yeah, back then that was 1997.
Yeah.
But yeah, I wouldn't. Again, my children today is what I think of right away. I don't know about that.
That'll be fine. Just try them and see.
We watched every one of these Ernest movies without the kids for these reasons, because I don't. So then I decided to subject myself to 1995's Slam Dunk Ernest.
I've never even watched that one.
I had never seen Ernest Goes to Africa, and I had never seen Slam Dunk Ernest.
Okay.
Slam Dunk Ernest was silly. The woman that was in, you know what? I forgot to write down Ernest Goes to School, because I watched that too. What did I think of that? I don't think I had seen it before either. It was stupid. I noticed that they replaced it was still entertaining. It was still an Ernest movie. They replaced the brothers that were in the first Ernest movie.
Mm-hmm.
One of them got replaced in one movie, and then the other one got replaced in another movie, and then that one that had been replaced the first time carried on through the next movie, I think it was. He was in Ernest Goes to School. So it was Ernest Goes to Camp, then Ernest Goes to Jail is where they replaced one, and then the one from Ernest Goes to Jail was in Ernest Goes to School, but the other brother, the not silly looking one, basically, is the one that was gone, and he was replaced with a woman, and then that actress was the one who was in Ernest Goes to Africa as the love interest, playing a totally different character.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. And then Slam Dunk Ernest was another totally different woman. And Ernest Goes to School, the love interest was some woman. You're like, really? That's the love interest? Okay. And Ernest Goes to Jail was like a attractive coworker of his, basically, which seems like, out of his league in an unexpected way. Whereas the one in Ernest Goes to Africa, they called out of his league, but like she was still silly and fun. So seems
not
fine.
Really out of his league? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Anyway. So I also watched 1987's Harry
Oh,
and the
I was
Hendersons.
waiting for more Ernest.
Yeah, I don't. No
You
more.
didn't do Ernest in the Army? Come on.
No, I couldn't. I didn't have it, so I didn't watch it, and you didn't
Okay.
have it, as far as I could tell.
Yeah, it
and
is.
neither
That's the one I
did
watched.
Morgan. I didn't see it, but maybe I just missed it because the results didn't show it or something.
Okay.
Or maybe I didn't get around to it. No, I don't think I saw it. Anyway, doesn't matter. I didn't watch it. That was all the Ernest
All right.
that I watched. We'll see. I watched 1987's Harry and the Hendersons. And I remember watching this as a kid and really enjoying it, even though watching it back, I don't really remember it. This was my introduction to John Lithgow, and I remember liking him in it. And then, of course, Third Rock from the Sun after that, which I loved him in, even though he was stupid. But yeah, it was decent. I didn't. I remember the bits and pieces. I didn't get to finish watching it with the kids. They watched it on their own while I did some thing in the garage, or I don't remember what. But so I didn't get to finish watching it. So I still probably will have to go back and finish it. I watched like the first hour, if that.
My introduction to John Lithgow was Cliffhanger.
Yeah, I've actually never seen all of Cliffhanger.
Oh man, you should watch Cliffhanger. That's a good movie.
Yeah, right after you watch all the Ernest movies.
Nope. I'd rather watch Cliffhanger 4 times than watch all the Ernest movies. I'll watch the good Ernest movies. Don't get me wrong.
Oh, I didn't watch Ernest Saves Christmas because we watched that last year.
Oh, okay.
I think I talked about that here.
Possibly.
I had never seen it before either.
That was a whole year ago. I can't remember that.
Exactly. And I watched just last night or the night before Ant-Man and Wasp: Quantumania.
Oh, okay. That's the third one?
Yes.
Okay,
yeah, 2023.
I haven't seen it.
So I thought it was decent, but the multiverse stuff is annoying. That's a note I wrote for myself.
Yeah.
And all the secrets keeping was stupid. Wife keeping secrets from husband and daughter. It's excuses to try to make the story fit with the other movies. I found that part was frustrating and pulls you out of the movie. Like, well, this is stupid. Like, no one would have actually done that. I don't care the situation. It's just stupid.
Yeah.
So and my wife said the same thing. She was watching with me. She didn't enjoy the movie as much as I did, but she also doesn't know as much of the story stuff. And
yeah,
there was a character reveal. I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool. I didn't expect that. Maybe it's because I'm out of touch with the Marvel movies coming out, which I find helps. But I thought it was fun and a fun connection to other Marvel things that I'm aware of but don't follow.
Yeah. After Infinity War whole thing happened on that, I kind of fell off the Marvel train. Like, I don't follow the shows. I'll catch a movie here and there kind of thing, but I'm not staying on top of it. So I find the multiverse stuff also very annoying. So
yeah, this does that too, but not as bad. Like, there's no actual going into multiverse. There's just talking about multiverse.
Okay.
But it is like the bad guy's motivation. So it's kind of like, it's kind of annoying.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I have 2, 4, 5 more.
Okay. I can jump in here for a little bit. Well, once every
time you mention something, I have to fire up IMDb to check it out.
You can get your fingers, get your typers ready to go here.
Should I get my quiet keyboard while I'm at it?
Quiet keyboard while you're at it. Yeah, for sure. You mean it's not already there?
No.
Yeah, after the not so special ABC challenge, I don't know what. I think I'm very much influenced by YouTube, like, movies you didn't know were awesome lists kind of things.
Okay.
So I saw this movie list, and one of the movies popped up, and I remember seeing it, and I was like, this whole like saga of chasing down this movie kind of came to be. So I looked up this movie, which I ended up watching after, so I'm not spoiling it. I remember a scene in that movie, but it wasn't quite right.
Okay.
I remember when I was younger seeing a movie, and I just remember seeing the end of it. But that scene stuck with me to this day. It sticks with me.
Okay.
And it's 2 guys in a cellar, like a basement cellar, being chased by the authorities. This is what I thought was happening because I was young.
Okay.
Being chased by the authorities. They didn't want to surrender, so they're in the basement, surrounded, can't get out. And to get them out, the authorities throw water hoses into the windows of the cellar and flood the basement and cellar, so they have to come out.
Okay.
Instead of coming out, these men realize that they're done for, and so they hug each other and hold pistols to each other's heads, and they kill each other. And that's the end of the movie. And I was like, that scene stuck with me forever.
Because you were probably too young to have seen it at the time.
Yes, and I was just like, why would they kill each other? Why was that better than coming out? And why was that, it was just I didn't understand what was going on. So seeing this movie list on YouTube triggered that thought pattern again. I was like, what was that movie? I need to find that movie now.
I have a movie like that I know a scene from that I'm like, I want to see that movie.
Yeah.
It wasn't as traumatic. It was more like it was funny and weird.
Yeah. So I remember seeing the movie that was on the list and saying, I remember that's a similar scene happening in that movie, but that wasn't the same movie that I watched. So then I went on Google and found, okay, what are all the movies based on this event kind of thing? Like what happened? And sure enough, there's a whole list.
Oh, geez.
So I went through and the first one I clicked on happens to be the movie that it was back in the day. It's a movie from 1975 called Operation Daybreak.
Okay.
And it's a World War II movie, so you're probably going to be I know you're not into World War II stuff. I've been on a World War II kick lately. I don't know what's happened. My wife is very concerned because she came down and I was watching a whole bunch of World War II movies. I'm still playing The Saboteur on Xbox 360.
Just getting ready for World War III, that's all.
I'm prepping. I'm doing my thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Anyways, so Operation Daybreak takes place during the beginning of World War II, and it's the what is it? The Czech resistance plot to assassinate what's his name?
SS General
General Reinhard Heydrich, who was the author of like The Final Solution against
the head of the Nazi security service.
Yeah, the SS basically. Yeah. And he like convinced Hitler to exterminate the Jews and how to do it, and he did all this stuff. So he's a really bad guy. So he was stationed in Czechoslovakia, in Prague.
Yep.
And so
it says. So the British trained these Czech commandos, is what it says.
Yep. So they go in. And sure enough, that's the dang movie. I watched it and I was like, this is everything. It's for a 1975 movie about World War II. Man, they just don't make them like they used to. That movie was really good. And that scene that I remember, spoilers, happens at the end. It was good. And so off of that, I'm just like, because I saw this giant list of these are all these movies made about this one event, and I can't think of too many other events where there are multiple movies made about the same thing. So then I took it upon myself to was like, oh, I'm gonna watch a couple more and just kind of see how they all differ.
That's weird because it's also an obscure event. It's not like seriously, you can say the crucifixion of Jesus. There's how many movies made of something like that, and that's got a lot of people who are aware of it.
Yes,
and this event, not that many people know of, but it's. And then there's even like Operation Mincemeat. There's one movie about that. There's how many other things like that you can't think of any movies that are. Yeah, it's interesting.
I mean, like again, big events like the Normandy invasion. Sure, like that stuff's kind.
You should check out that British TV show that I had told you about. Oh, what was it called? Was it Traitors or? Damn it. I had mentioned it a few months ago, but it was all about this World War II, post-World War II spy stuff.
Okay. Add to my wife's concern.
Yeah, I can't remember what it's called. That's going to suck. It's going to bother me that I can't remember what it is.
Just let it sit there. Sit there and fester.
Bother me so much. No idea.
Anyways, so then I watched the one that triggered this whole thing. It's a movie I watched a long time ago. Obviously, it was on Netflix called Anthropoid. which they say it's called Operation Anthropoid, is actually the name of the operation to assassinate General Heydrich.
Okay.
That movie, that name never came up in the other one, which is, I find it strange that the original movie is called Operation Daybreak. They changed the name of the operation for the movie. So not quite sure. And it's interesting at the end of Operation Daybreak that, they kind of do the, here's kind of what happened to all the people involved. Here's a still of them, and then like a little like breakdown of so and so went here, or they got sent to this camp, or they lived and made it to the end of the war, blah 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 blah. And so having all that information fresh in my mind, watching Anthropoid, and I'm seeing the differences. Like, okay, well, these two people were here. It's fun to see what they stress being important for this operation, and why the operation, had its hiccups or failed at certain points or succeeded at other points, and it's kind of open to interpretation. Anyways, and some of the characters in Anthropoid have very different outcomes than what Operation Daybreak claims happened to them. And I didn't look too much into it to try to figure out what exactly happened, but I just found it interesting because I'm watching these all back to back. And then later on, I found out there's another movie called Killing Heydrich, also known by The Man with the Iron Heart. And it's the same story, but the first half of the movie is looking at it through the lens of Heydrich. So you're following Heydrich and his rise to power.
Okay.
And why he was so bad. They try to make it like, a more sexified version of why Heydrich is bad, or why you should have respect for him or non-respect for him later. But I was just like, nah, he's a bad dude. I don't really care about him.
Did they try and justify, like, oh, he was beaten as a child, like those kinds of things, or
maybe, yeah, justified a little bit.
Just curious. Yeah.
But his response is so over the top compared to what the problems may have been. I don't think they showed that side very well. It's just kind of like, well, these people are inconveniencing us. We better kill them all. So
the TV show is called The Sandbaggers.
Sandbaggers.
Yep. That is the show.
I will write it down, seeing as I'm in the mood.
Yeah.
All right.
Trying to see what time frame it actually takes place or is supposed to be from. It might be getting more towards Russian stuff, is my guess, but I can't see the actual.
That's an old one too, 1978, around the same age as Operation Daybreak.
But from what I had heard before, I think before watching it, it was like known as one of the most accurate spy shows ever made.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah,
I will have a gander.
Yeah.
All right. Well, there's three of my 7 out of the way.
Yeah. Well,
anyways, out of all of them, I would watch. I think Operation Daybreak is still the best, even though the movie list I saw said Anthropoid was they consider the best of the 3 or of that thing. I think Operation Daybreak is better.
I'm not sure if I'm going to watch that.
I'm not. Yes, for the listeners.
Yeah, I'm just telling you. But I'm interested, but I don't think I'll.
That's fair.
Yeah, yeah. World War stuff is just like too much to dive into and knowing the history, and yeah, it helps watching a bunch at one time though. But
it does. I found it fascinating. I've always enjoyed war stuff. Maybe because, my ancestors went through it. My grandpa would talk about the war little bits here and there, but not very much. I knew it was always a thing. My dad liked the war, so he'd watch more movies, or he had World War II books, and I'd read through those. And yeah, it's just always been.
It was never talked about. My grandfather on my great grandfather on my mother's side, I think, went, but that's really all I know for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Oh,
yeah, we have pictures of him in the suit. Speaking of war, I watched 2024's A Real Pain.
A Real Pain.
Starring Kieran Culkin, Jesse Eisenberg, and Jennifer Grey.
Okay.
I mean, Jennifer Grey is kind of a minor role, but she's one of the bigger names in it. So Kieran Culkin and Jesse Eisenberg play two brothers of Polish descent whose grandmother made it through or got away. I think she was in a concentration camp, but got out or something like that and lived to have a family. And this is them trying to show their acknowledgement and appreciation for what she went through after she passes away. Kieran Culkin is the more wild cousin who doesn't take life too seriously and just, coasts by and is real friendly with everybody and everybody loves him right away. But Jesse Eisenberg is more serious and he has a wife and kids and he's trying to help Kieran get through the problem of the grandma dying, even though they were both close. Kieran was closer. So they decide to go to Poland to see they basically take a tour of
to see what their grandmother went through.
Yeah, and of the concentration camp.
Interesting.
And they meet other people there and they talk about it and have a tour guide and all this stuff. I found it to be interesting. I like the movie felt like it was good quality, like shot really well. The interactions were all interesting. They did it in a neat way. I just felt like the movie had no real point.
Fair.
The experience seemed like it was going to be the movie, just them there, and then they tried to pull an emotional thing and tell you more background story and stuff like that.
This is why you should feel this way. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it seemed like. And it was more about them than it was about their history at that point. So it wasn't as I don't know, relatable, interesting. I don't know. Yeah, it felt like they were trying really hard to make a point without actually making a point to me. But it was still a neat movie and really well made. So I hate to talk bad about it, but
yeah.
Fair.
I've seen a trailer for it, but that's as far as I've gotten with it.
Yeah, I had seen trailers about it. I'm like, oh, let's see what Kieran Culkin's doing because you don't hear much about Kieran Culkin, let alone Macaulay anymore. Yeah, and it was after Christmas that I decided to actually watch it because I'm like, Macaulay Culkin and Kieran Culkin in Home Alone.
Home Alone, and yeah. Fair enough.
I have 4 left.
All right. Do you have TV? I have 2 TV shows as well.
Oh, I forgot all about TV shows. I started some TV shows. I didn't finish any TV shows.
We'll do movies and kind of swing and do a quick rundown on TV.
Sure.
We don't have to dive too deep into that. My wife and I had a night off. Like I think there was a PD day or something like that. So kids went to my parents so that we could go to work the next day. And so we had kind of like a night off. And so my wife and I were going to go see a movie that was in theaters. But to prep for that, there's a movie that this director had also done that I've been meaning to watch forever. So of course,
it's always about the director. It's always about the director.
I know. I feel like a broken record. I like this director. Anyways,
it's like a broken record.
You'll like the people in this movie, and I know you've heard of it. 2019's The Lighthouse.
Oh,
with Willem Dafoe.
Okay.
And Robert Pattinson.
Oh, I've heard of this. Yeah. Yes. Is it all black and white?
It's all black and white. It's all 4:3. It's a very artistic, artsy fartsy movie. But
I don't like artsy fartsy.
But damn, is that a good movie?
Because Willem Dafoe is an awesome actor.
Because Willem Dafoe is an awesome actor. Yes.
That's what I was hoping is the answer.
And Robert Pattinson holds his own, man. He does pretty good as well.
All right.
It's one of those descent into madness stories. The whole thing's an allegory and metaphor, and decipher it from it what you want, kind of thing.
Okay.
It's a little bit out there. There's some frames that you're just like, what the heck am I even looking at?
Huh.
It's interesting.
Okay, that actor, Robert Pattinson. I didn't know who he was, but I recognize him as one of the guys from the Twilight thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's the Batman.
Okay. And I heard good things about him as the Batman, I thought.
I like the Batman, so
I have not seen the Batman.
So yeah.
I still haven't seen the old Batman, the last one.
Jeez, come on, get on that.
No, DC Comics has just like lost me completely. But even Marvel's kind of like,
but Batman's good though. And it's Christopher Nolan. Anyways, so the director of The Lighthouse is Robert Eggers. He directed the Witch. I don't know if you watch that. Duke talks about the Vivitch. Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard of it.
Which I also liked. He's got a couple of the ones that I've meaning to watch, I think. So anyways, his newest movie came out on Christmas Day of last year called Nosferatu, which is the retelling of the classic vampire Nosferatu story.
Mm-hmm.
My wife does not like horror things, scary things, and I was like, the only thing in the theater that I'm remotely interested in seeing are actually sorry, the only thing I'm really interested in seeing, nothing else was interesting at all. I was like, is Nosferatu. I was like, you have to go in. It's going to be, it's a cinematographer movie. You're going to go in to see the cinematography, the framing, everything about that movie is gorgeous, and it's creepy too. So, she gets scared easily, but she did okay. She wasn't scared. She didn't have nightmares. We were okay. So,
nightmares.
Nosferatu is good. It gets a Josh.
Willem Dafoe's in that too.
Willem Dafoe is in that as well. Yes.
That's not enough for me to watch it.
Bill Skarsgård is in it. Nicholas Hoult is in it.
Yeah, come on. Not going to justify that.
Nosferatu, 2 thumbs up from Josh.
All right.
There's 2 more of my movies done. Look at me go.
I was hoping to get more into and finish the whole series of, but I want 1 episode and a half of Squid Game.
Season 2.
Season 1.
Oh, season 1. Oh,
yeah.
Wow. You're old school. Okay.
I got a message from Rocket Sauce saying, hey, can you get season 2? My father wants to watch it. And I think he said he was sick or had surgery or something like that. So I did that. And I'm like, okay, I guess I might as well just get season 1 while I'm at it and start watching it. So I got 1 episode and a half done. And then, of course, kids walk in the room and I got to stop it.
Yep.
And then never get back to it. So then I start watching on my phone, Mr. In Between. I get 1.5 episodes.
Yes.
1.5 episodes into that, and don't get any further than that because again.
Oh man, Mr. In Between. How you those episodes are like 20 minutes. Yeah. Those are quick.
Mm-hmm. But I can't watch it when the kid's there bugging me.
No.
I think I was doing dishes, maybe.
Yeah, you should
started watching that in bed, and I moved to doing dishes because gotta do it.
Keep watching that one. That's a good one.
I've got both of them to watch. Just Squid Game also has subtitles.
Mr. In Between is better than Squid Game.
But you still need to pay attention because, like you said, they're Australian and using slang. It wasn't as bad as I was expecting, but I'm also only an episode and a half into it. So.
You can infer, like they use it enough, you can infer a lot of meaning out of it. So
it's not like when someone's speaking Korean.
Yeah. You have no idea. I just remember in Mr. In Between, they talk about the dunny all the time. You gotta go to the dunny. And I didn't know what it was, but I just inferred and figured out, they're talking about the bathroom.
Okay. All right. Well, movie. I watched, this has been on my list to watch for a long freaking time. 1989's Robot Jocks.
Oh, okay. What do you think about this?
Look it up. A buddy of mine told me about it. He said his parents, I think he said, had a VHS of it, and he watched it so many times in his life, and he loved it even though it's stupid and corny and cheesy as hell. It's literally, okay, so In the not so distant future, mankind has forsaken global wars. They're no longer allowed, and instead, in order for countries to fight over territory, they have to battle single combat in robots.
Nice.
So this is the story of a champion and betrayal.
This sounds like a more serious take on.
It's not serious.
On Real Steel. Do you ever watch Real Steel?
That's the one with
Hugh Jackman.
Hugh Jackman. Yeah, I've heard of it. Well, this one's 1989, so clearly Robot Jocks did it first.
Clearly, yes.
But these robots are huge, like massive, like the size of a 100-story building, kind of.
It's the first. Oh god, dang! It's the first like game-based movie. You remember that game where you try to like knock the other guy?
Yeah, Rock'em Sock'em Robots.
Rock'em, yeah, it's the first movie based on Rock'em Sock'em Robots.
But it's more like Mech Warrior robots.
Yeah.
Like they got guns on their shoulders and fists and punching and kicking, and it's almost the way they control it is almost like what's it called? Rift.
Pacific Rim.
Yeah. Okay. It's similar to that in a way. I mean, they kind of just stand on the thing and move, and it does it. But
also, it's kind of like I mean, Power Rangers kind of did like
Power Rangers did that in some of them. I don't think they did it in the original one, right? They kind of just controlled it with joystick, I think.
They all had their own like little control panels,
yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, Robot Jocks. It's corny, stupid, low budget, bad acting, silly, fun, stupid ending though.
But fun?
Fun, yeah.
But fun.
Yes.
That's all I need.
Mm-hmm. All right, I got 3 more.
All right. I have sorry, I'll do
I have 1 cage.
I have 1 cage. I have 2 movies, 2 TV, and 1 cage.
You're supposed to have more cage.
I know. Well, sorry, 1 cage, quote unquote. Could be more, quote unquote. I'll just run over my shows quick. My wife and I have started season 2 of Silo.
Oh yeah.
I
think I watched all of season 1 on that. I can't remember now.
Okay. It's good. It's like I said, I kind of did the deep dive last year after the season 1. I read or did the audiobooks for 1, 2, and 3. So this is just kind of a continuation of book 1. So I kind of know what's going on. They are changing a few things around, which is a little bit nice for me because I'm like, well, I kind of know what's happening, but this subplot, I have no idea where they're going with that. So that's kind of fun. But it is still very good. Still, unfortunately, with now the work time, and I get tired at 10:30. I don't have time to stay up and watch shows very late. My time is very limited, dude. It like after Christmas, I was like, I'm gonna watch a movie every night. I have so much time now. I can just stay up late and do whatever I want. Now I can't do this. So yeah, Silent season 2, very good. And then to continue on with my World War II hype train, I've watched Masters of the Air, which is kind of like a continuation of like Band of Brothers, Pacific, and then Masters of the Air. In the same vein, I believe this was even produced or executive produced from Tom Hanks. But this is an Apple TV miniseries. HBO is doing it. Well, not doing it anymore. It's pretty good. It shows a different side of the war that you don't normally see. So it shows a bit more of like the strategy of like, how the planes choose their targets and the obstacles they have to go through and the things to watch out for. So that learning a little bit more about like the air war side of things was interesting. Some of the episodes I felt out of place, like we're following these 2 characters and then it kind of switches and another guy's kind of narrating and kind of his for a little while. Then it goes back to the other guys for a little while. And I'm like, why is only this character narrating, but no one else is for the rest of the show? It's a little bit disjointed in a way. It feels like
interesting.
Feels like a bit of like an internet show versus like an HBO product.
Yeah.
But still good, entertaining. But again, contributing to my wife's fear that I'm joining the dark side.
But helping Bill pick things to watch.
Bill's already watched this one, as far as I know.
Okay. That makes sense.
It's airplanes in World War II. Why wouldn't he watch that immediately?
On his projector.
On his projector, yes. But I feel like the legitimate copies that I have of that are not great.
Oh, okay.
For some reason, I feel like bit rates are an issue. So I feel like you'd be watching and then it would like skip ahead like 10 seconds and then watch.
Interesting.
It was interesting. If it's a Plex thing or if it was a file thing. Yeah.
My Alice in Wonderland was similar to that too. I do
really okay.
Remedy that.
I wonder if are you watching that through Plex?
Yeah.
I wonder if it's a Plex thing because I've noticed it with a few things.
It's just a weird file, I think. Most of everything else I've had has been good. I actually tweaked some settings of my downloader and got some issues I had dealt with because it was always trying to get too high a quality stuff.
Interesting.
And I find the lower quality files tend to play better as well.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I think I was watching Alice in Wonderland off a copy that Morgan has. Yep.
All right.
So I have no control over it.
I'll do one more because I have a strange hunch that we're going to overlap on one of these movies.
I don't think so, Tim.
Okay. Okay.
If you watched one of these next 3 movies, it would be really, really, really surprising.
Okay. All right. I'm curious. I had a bit of a Plex heads up on one.
Oh, you did. There was one. Did you watch it because I was watching it?
Nope. Anyways.
I don't remember which one that was. All right. I do remember watching something of yours and being like, "Oh, he's gonna know."
Yes, because Plex tells me.
Yeah, but I don't see one of these. Maybe I watched another one I forgot all about.
Maybe. Anyways, we'll get around to it. Or maybe you watched it before and you brought it up and I completely forgot. Who knows? I watched another. Here I go. Going to be artsy fartsy fancy director. Blah blah blah. Another. I'm becoming a fan of this director. He directed one of the favorite guy group movies called The Lobster, which is fantastic, and I love that movie. The director is Yorgos Lanthimos, I think his name is. Very strange. Anyways, he has a very unique directing style. When he directs people, you very much know it's his thing. He doesn't want emotion coming through when people talk, so people talk very flat and very monotone.
Okay.
And it works somehow. Anyways, The Lobster's good. Watch that if you like strange movies. I have
that on my list.
It is on your list?
It's on my to-watch list, yes.
Yeah. Okay. I watched
also Poor Things.
Yes, and Poor Things, which I also really liked. Yeah.
We almost watched that. My wife was asking about it because she had heard good things about it.
It is good if you can accept the fairy tale side of things.
Yeah, and I had told her she thought it was based on. I think she thought it was based on Alice in Wonderland, and I said no, it's based on like a Frankenstein type. And she's like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah. Okay. Anyways, I watched his next movie, I believe, after The Lobster, or very close to. Anyways, it's called The Killing of a Sacred Deer.
Yes, that is the one after.
Okay. Also starring Colin Farrell, who also starred in The Lobster.
So he likes him then.
He likes him. I believe Colin Farrell's in a few of his movies. I didn't know what this story was based on, so after the movie, when I did some research, it explained a lot more. It's based on a Greek mythological story of a guy who went hunting and killed a deer who was special to one of the Greek gods. And in retaliation, the Greek god said, well, you killed this deer. That means so much to me. In order for things to be fair, you must kill a member of your family. And you get to choose who.
So
you take that story and apply it to a modern 21st century setting, and it's a bit crazy, but it works. So Colin Farrell is a doctor who is put into a very similar situation, and things, if you know this actor, things are never what they seem. If you
Director,
watch The
right?
Lobster, things never turn out the way they are supposed to, the way that you think they are. There's a very obvious way things should go, and they don't go that way. So it's a fun watch. I'm enjoying his thing, and I look forward to. I kind of went on a spree, and I downloaded all of his movies, so I will eventually work my way through them. So
I do like doing that, but I feel like with someone where there's always something unexpected, it just gets old.
Yeah, so it's not like a really big turn, like, oh, he should have done this. Massive surprise. Look at this.
Okay.
I'm gonna do something completely different. It's very subtle in his changes. And so it's not like,
but still something you wouldn't expect, therefore it stands out.
In a way, but it's not so distracting to the movie that it's more just like unsettling.
All right.
So yeah.
Yeah, you don't justify it to me. I was just curious.
Okay. I'm trying to find a way to explain it that's like,
I'll just need to watch one.
Yeah, you should watch The Lobster. That's between the two. I like Killing of a Sacred Deer. I'd say watch The Lobster. Lobster is like, if you like dark humor, it's very dark. If you can find the humor in what's happening, that's very bleak.
All right.
It's also a bit absurd.
I don't even want to know anything about it. Like I started reading the description, and I'm just like, I don't really want to read anymore.
Don't read anything. That was the thing for me, and I feel like I loved it more because I had no idea what was going on until the end. Right. And I was like, oh my gosh, hilarious.
Well, I cannot remember what it is that I watched that you would know that I watched. Okay. But I watched 2023's Dungeons and Dragons: Honor Among Thieves.
Oh, okay. I've heard good things.
Chris Pine, Michelle Rodriguez, Hugh Grant. I had heard someone say, "Oh, Hugh Grant did a great job in that movie." I'm like, "Oh, I meant to watch that." Like, I always like the idea of Dungeons and Dragons. I've never played Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah,
I like listening to people go through a campaign. Like the one podcast I listened to, Tadpog, they did a campaign. I said before of in the Scott Pilgrim world, and they did. All right, I've listened to other campaigns. The Cartridge Club had one or two. Miles had one. I think it was
Miles had one.
Miles had one or two. I can't remember. It was just one. Anyway, I like listening to them. And there's also Vox Machina, the TV show based on. So it's neat. I like the idea of them. I like listening to them. I'm not creative enough to be in one. So this movie I enjoyed. It was fun. The old Dungeons and Dragons movie from the 90s, I remember being something like this, where it's kind of silly and stupid, and they're a ragtag group, and it doesn't make any sense how they do it, but they do, and they've got heart and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, of course.
This felt like that, and I liked it, and I was surprised that movies like that are still actually being made.
Nice. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It's on my curiosity list.
Okay. Yeah, it's 2000 Dungeons and Dragons.
Okay.
There is no game. Dungeons and Dragons is the subtitle, even though it's not anywhere but on the picture. Yeah. That is that. More?
Yep. I got one movie and then Cage after that.
Similar setting. I then queued up 1985's Lady Hawk.
Oh, okay. I don't
know why this was ever something that someone recommended to me. I have no clue. But it is Michelle Pfeiffer, Matthew Broderick, and Rutger Hauer.
Rutger Hauer?
Sorry, Rutger Hauer. Yes.
Yeah.
I had his name the way to say it earlier, and then I just lost it. I was also on a track of forgot to write down that in my mind when this started, I came up with the idea of Ferris Bueller's something, and now I didn't write it down, so I forget. It was Ferris Bueller's Knight's Tale. That's what it was.
Yeah, okay.
Because Matthew Broderick plays as basically like a escaped convict who gets out of prison in this unescapable prison, and the main or this Rutger Hauer character, he needs to get into that prison essentially, or into that town and where the prison is, and so he finds out about this kid, and he's then able to finally do the thing he's been trying to do for 2 years. Okay. This, I don't know, I'm pretty sure this has been revealed and obvious either way. So he is in love, Rutger Hauer is in love with Michelle Pfeiffer, the two characters, but they were both cursed so that during the day she is a hawk and during the night he is a wolf, so they can never meet again, so they can't live their life together because of this curse. And this is him trying to break that curse essentially. It's weird, and it's I swear, like low budget over and over. There was obvious times where you're like, oh, here's where they do like her transform. No, they just cut the camera away and then come back as a hawk, or they do like a camera fade to do the transition. Like, it's really low budget. You're muted or something.
Hello?
Yeah.
Oh,
there you are.
My microphone unplugged there for a second. So
interesting. Oh. Anyway, I didn't hear what you said. What did you say?
Oh, I just said, of course, they can't show the transition. That would cost too much money.
Yeah. In 1985. It is a 2-hour movie, which I think was unusual for that time frame, but it's a Richard Donner movie also, just so you know. I saw that when I was watching. I'm like, yeah, I would have thought it would be more popular if that's the case, but yeah, I forgot to write his name down. Otherwise, I would have said that earlier for you to try and guess it. But yeah, it was
that one.
It was fine. It wasn't anything special. It was odd. It had heart.
It had heart. Okay.
Yes, it had heart. And Matthew Broderick, without him, the movie would have been, I don't know, more awkward, and he kind of pulls it together because he's the only person that they're both talking to and can be with them during the day and the night. Huh?
He's the anchor.
Yeah, he's kind of like the anchor. He's kind of like the ties between them, and they do that in a neat way. And he does not stop talking to himself in this movie. He at first I was like, oh, Ferris Bueller, right? He talks to himself. But it's actually, he reveals later on in the movie that he's talking to God. And I should have clued into that from the beginning, because he is talking to God. But I just thought he was like in an emergency situation and praying to God. But it is.
Didn't realize it continued for the whole movie.
Yeah, I didn't realize it was always supposed to be the context of him talking to God, not just to himself. But that's part of the reason why I thought of Ferris Bueller's Day Off, Ferris Bueller's Knight's Tale, because he's basically like a squire for the night.
Okay,
it's neat. It's silly, but it's fun.
Gotcha. Cool.
Yeah, Lady Hawk.
Lady Hawk.
Should be repeating the names of these things at the end. I forget.
Should be, yeah. All right.
I have one more.
One more that's not Cage?
Yep.
All right.
Is the Cage one the one that I watched at the off your server?
Well, yeah, you did watch that one off my server.
Okay, that's the only one that I thought that you would know of.
Okay, I assume there's another one still that I have that I feel like we had an overlap.
All right, I have one more movie. I don't think this is it, because this I got. I didn't play it off your server. 2024's Thelma.
I just downloaded this, actually.
Did you? You didn't have to. You could have watched mine.
Listen, I don't look at anyone else's server. I just do my own thing.
This movie, I just heard the tagline of it, which was 93-year-old Thelma gets duped by a phone scammer pretending to be her grandson, and she sets out on a treacherous quest across the city to reclaim what was taken from her.
Yeah.
It's a good movie. I wrote down,
all I've
it's
heard.
Funny. It's wholesome. It's a good story. It's loosely based on a true story. Basically just, she almost got scammed, but didn't. And he took it off. And they show a clip at the end of the movie of the real grandma.
Okay.
It's it's just a fun movie. It's got a lot of big actors in it. Malcolm McDowell and Clark Gregg, who plays one of the Shield guys in whatchamacallit in Marvel stuff. Parker Posey and Richard Roundtree.
Richard Roundtree. Isn't he Shaft? Isn't he original Shaft?
I don't know, is he?
I think he is.
Could be.
Yeah.
I was trying to look it up, but of course it doesn't show yet. It is. He's in Shaft as John Shaft Sr. in the newer Shaft. So I think that was a nod to the old one.
And I think this was his last. Richard Roundtree. I think this was his last role. I think he's passed away since this movie.
Oh yeah, it does say he passed away in October 2023. Yeah, he plays an old guy in this. He did a good job in it though.
Yeah. I have a few YouTubers.
My wife and I watched it together, and it was just enjoyable. It was fun.
I plan on watching this with my wife as well. There's very few YouTubers I listen to that go through like, here's the top movies from 2024.
Oh, okay.
And this was one of them. And so I kind of, again, went through the thing and just kind of downloaded anything that looked vaguely interesting and added to the Plex.
It's got a 98 on Rotten Tomatoes.
That's pretty high. So
yeah, it's good. It's PG-13, and you don't watch it with kids, but it's not necessary to watch with kids anyway. But it was good. I enjoyed it. My wife enjoyed it. We were smiling and laughing the whole time.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yep. That's on my list to watch.
Yeah,
for sure. I watched a movie also from 2024.
2024's Thelma. I gotta say the name at the end.
2024's Thelma. This was another one that came. I downloaded it a long time ago, but one of the YouTubers I watched had this as his #1 movie of the year.
Oh.
Also rated at 97% on Rotten Tomatoes. That's a critic score. Viewer score of 85.
Okay.
So pretty high.
Yeah, I think if IMDb's got the 2 ratings, sorry, if Plex has the 2 ratings. One is the tomato is the critic, and the other one, the popcorn, is the viewer.
Viewers, yeah.
Okay, that's 83 on Thelma. 98, 83, and that one's really similar then.
This is 97 and 85. So
yeah,
very comparable.
And 2024.
And 2024. The reason I know you've watched it is because Plex has a giant thing saying Activity by Deej13.
Why did I not remember watching another movie?
I don't remember you talking about this. I remember you talking about we should watch this. But then I saw you had watched it, supposedly, or so Plex alleges. And so I was like, well, I guess they're not on the list. So I bumped it up and watched it this past weekend. 2024's Hundreds of Beavers.
Oh. No, I want to watch this.
How was it saying?
Watched it. I think I started it for like 2 minutes, and then I'm like, okay, something came up. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
I want to see this.
What a movie this is. I have not seen anything like this movie before. I
wanted to watch this on my bad movie night with my friend.
Okay. I wouldn't say it qualifies as a bad movie. It's bad, but almost because it's trying to be.
Yeah, and that's good? Okay too.
Okay.
Yeah. It's obvious that it's trying to be.
Yes. It's very, very strange. It's animated / absurdist humor. It's about a trapper trying to trap beavers so he can trade for a thing, a MacGuffin.
A MacGuffin? I thought there was an actual reason.
There is a reason. I didn't want to go down the whole reason.
Okay. I thought the trailer told me the reason, but
I don't remember the trailer actually giving me a reason.
Okay.
And it's just very absurdist. They're not trying to hide it that these are not real animals. They are. Everything is. It's a cartoon in real life. So the trapper is walking around with a giant coonskin cap that's very clearly a giant stuffed hat that's larger than life and way bigger than his actual head. All the animals are just people wearing costumes.
Yeah, that's how I described this before on this podcast. I thought,
very obviously, and they're just
like,
walking around on 2 feet.
This person is a beaver, but only because they're wearing a fursuit and have a beaver head. That person's a dog because they're wearing a fursuit and they have a dog head.
Yes,
that person.
They're walking like people. They're acting like people, but that is a dog. Yes, that person is a rabbit. That person is a raccoon.
This feels like it would be really fun to watch at Princess Cinema.
This would be with a group of people. This would be hilarious.
Yeah.
So, I had some friends over on Saturday, so had them. Everyone was just like, "All right, it was between this and another movie, so we picked for this one." And we was like, "Okay, well maybe." I was like, I did put the disclaimer. I'm like, we got to be in the right mood for this. And so we went out and we bought some beers so we could try to have loosen up a little bit. Yeah, it's crazy. I think, not to put a damper on it, it's very fun. I think this movie is about 20 minutes too long. It's like it's the joke is played out at that point, and you're just kind of like, all right, let's wrap this up. And it feels like, all right, let's wrap this up. Okay, well, yeah, I understand.
Too long.
Yeah, I mean, I'll say 20 to 30 minutes. Like this could have been a shorter movie than what it was. So I felt like they're like, well, let's have the gag. Maybe the gag is to run the gag out till it's not funny anymore. That also is a legitimate gag. So who knows? But it's fun. It's a funny watch. Right, number one of the year? I could see it for somebody. It's not number one of the year for me, but it is entertaining. There you go.
Yeah. It's to watch. I keep forgetting
to watch. Yeah. Well, I got to tell Plex not to lie to me because I was like, well, Derek watched it.
And it doesn't show that I've watched it. I do have it on my watch list.
Okay.
But I have not watched it. I don't even think I've queued it or started watching it. I thought I did, but when I go in here, it shows play not resume. So
interesting.
It just told you there was activity by me. It didn't say I watched it.
That means you watched it.
Usually it does. I'm guessing it means I added it to my watch list or I downloaded it.
Maybe, who knows?
Yeah.
Alrighty.
Yeah, I wish I had watched it to discussed it, but
I will look forward to your review next month.
Maybe. I really need to go through that watch list and see what I haven't not seen yet.
Gotta bump that up.
Yeah.
All right.
They don't let you order the watch list. Anyway, I watched with my wife.
Good.
1998's City of Angels.
Doesn't that also have Meg Ryan?
Yes, it does.
That's our second Meg Ryan of the night.
Yep. I did say that to my wife. I'm like, oh, Meg Ryan again. That's all right. She wanted to watch, what was it? It was either You've Got Mail or one of the other Meg Ryan.
Sleepless in Seattle?
No, after we watched Sleepless in Seattle, I think she wanted to watch You've Got Mail right afterwards.
Oh, okay.
Like the next night. I'm like, we're not watching another one of those two. Oh, maybe it was might have been another Tom Hanks because she does really like Tom Hanks. And she had a couple of those that she wanted to watch. But anyway, I wrote down for City of Angels. Started sad.
Did you? Okay. Sorry. Did you watch the VHS version that I gave you?
No, I didn't. I forgot if you gave me one. That's right. There's no points anymore.
I know there's no points anymore.
You gave me one?
Didn't I?
No, you didn't. Nope. I've got your VHS.
Never mind. It's sitting on my shelf over here.
Yeah, you never gave it to me.
Never gave it to you. All right.
I meant to check your list to see if you had it, but I wrote down, it started sad. It got interesting and happy, and it went downhill.
Yeah. You're not wrong. Yep.
I also wrote, it's trying really hard to be something different. It didn't want to be like a typical love movie. And I felt like, as kind of usual, it was good that they picked Cage. He was good for the
just weird
duopoly of this character, right? Like the two different characters that is this character kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I put good soundtrack. The lyrics like work really well for the songs that I noticed, which was about 3, I think. I'm like, oh, that's on the nose. It's a pretty good song.
Yeah, you can tell what they're doing.
Yeah. Like the lyrics of the first sentence of the song matches exactly what's happening in the movie kind of thing.
Yeah.
It was pretty funny and good. And I
also
enjoyed
distractingly though sometimes.
Almost, yeah. That's true.
Okay. Yeah.
But yeah. Should I even comment on the ending?
I believe I did when I did this, and this was one. I don't know if I heard it somewhere.
Oh,
but as the movie was happening, I'm just like, is this that movie where that happens? And it was.
Yeah.
Even though I'd never seen it before. So
it's the fact that happened. My wife was like, "Oh, okay, I get it. I kind of like that better than the alternative."
Yeah.
My opinion is, if you're gonna do it, it could have been done so much better.
Yes.
That's my
I didn't
problem.
Like how they did it. Yes.
It was just bad. And I'm not gonna lie, Meg Ryan's not a great actress.
No. But
everything else in the movie, she did a decent job. But that last scene was like, why even?
No. Why bother?
Yeah. No. And they left out physical detail that was like, that would have been helpful to know, but whatever.
Yeah, go figure.
I'm trying not to spoil it much, but if anyone's ever going to watch this 1998,
that's fine. I don't think anyone's going to watch it based on our recommendation.
It was neat. I like the angel part of it. I was surprised I did. I thought it was going to be hokey and not like it, but I think they established the lore, which is something that I like in movies, when they establish and stick to their lore and it makes sense. It's something I always said about the TV show Pushing Daisies. If you establish your lore and it's not questioned or unclear, even in this where there's an exception learned later on, it's still well explained and structured well, that it's believable. It's not stupid. It's not stretching the truth too much. It's like, no, it's just an additional thing that they didn't know that could be done. Yeah. I found it did a good job of that. I like when things stick to their logic
within the rules that they've set.
Yeah, exactly. And that's one of the things that I really liked about the TV show Pushing Daisies.
Okay.
Like, they did such a good job of that.
Fair.
Yeah.
What rating did you give it?
I gave it the same thing Josh did. A D.
A D.
Because it's not a great movie.
It's
not that cagey.
No, he's pretty undertoned in that one.
There's the time where he changes, and that's like, okay, he's pretty cagey here, but it was brief.
I think that was the part that kind of pulled me out of it, because I'm like, he's been around the world seeing the world for ages.
Yeah,
all of a sudden
he's
a human and he's kind of stupid. He's just dumb now. Yeah.
And I can see him being like, oh, I don't know how to get places because I used to be able to just travel by blinking, kind of thing.
Sure, some things.
But there's so many other things that are like, no, he didn't just forget how the world works.
Yeah.
He knows how you need money to ride a bus. Like, those kinds of things are obvious. You would have think you'd prepare for that.
Yeah.
In some way, shape, or form. And the other guy already warned him about it.
This is a possibility that you might have to do this. You think you do a little bit of research ahead of time.
And you've seen the worst parts of the world. You know, people rob people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. But I like the caginess of that part. He was being Nicolas Cage. He was
trying to fit it in somewhere. That was the only spot he could fit it in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or the only place the director would let him.
True.
Because every other time he had to be kind of without emotion, right?
Yeah.
Even though you do catch him smiling with the kids, but
yeah. Well, you got to.
It's not supposed to feel.
I, for my Nicolas Cage, watched.
Oh, you just rated it.
I didn't want to
spoil it
because I knew you were watching it.
I noticed the number changed. I didn't see what you did.
I watched the highly anticipated for myself National Treasure: Book of Secrets, the second National Treasure.
All right, I do need to watch that too.
And I am pleased to announce that is just as good as the first, if not slightly better than the first movie, which says a lot.
Deal.
It is. Because I'm not expecting a lot out of it. First of all, my expectations were very low. So by me saying that my expectation that it was good, it's probably going to elevate everyone's expectations a lot higher than what they should be. But if you want like just a dumb action romp adventure movie that's PG, this is a fun one. I don't. So it says 2007. I forget what year Nicolas Cage had his tax issues with his manager.
Okay, yeah.
But they directly poke fun at him for it in this movie. So I don't know if you remember. I think his name is Riley from the first movie.
2009.
Okay, so this happened in
that.
Okay.
Yeah, the movie
so
was
then
2
it's
years
I don't know,
before.
purely coincidence, but
Oh.
Riley from the first movie, in this movie he's like an author. He's trying to write a book about his adventures of the last movie. And so within the first 10 minutes of the movie, you realize that he doesn't have that. So, his Ferrari gets towed. No one comes to his book signing. And then he walks up to Nicolas Cage, who's sitting at his steps, and says, oh, where's the Ferrari? He's like, oh, IRS repoed it. Why? Oh, what happened with the IRS? And he's like,
God.
Oh, I owed $5 million in back taxes. And guess what happens when you don't pay $5 million in back taxes? It becomes $6 million in back taxes.
Oh my God. Because Nicolas Cage's back taxes was $6 million.
Exactly. And so when that happened, I burst out. I had to pause the movie because I was laughing so hard.
That is interesting. I wonder if he already knew about it.
He knew it was coming, maybe. So it was very, very funny. And he does get to be a little bit cagey at points. So like, oh, we need a distraction. And he's like, oh, we need to.
It does say it was a 2008 tax bill.
Okay.
So that brings it closer to the movie.
Very close, yeah.
Yeah, maybe he already knew.
Who knows? At one point in the movie, they're saying, oh, we need to be quiet. We need to not cause a scene. And then Riley's like, actually, you do need to cause a scene. And then Nicolas Cage is like, oh yeah, and goes super hard cagey. And there's quite a few gifable moments in there that I keep meaning to grab, but I haven't grabbed them yet. I'd love to add them into our Cage page on the Discord because there's some good ones, and I don't see them anywhere else on the internet. So, yeah, it's good. National Treasure: Book of Secrets also has Ed Harris in it as the quote unquote villain, and it's always great to see Ed Harris in movies. So,
I can't think of who Ed Harris is.
You know him when you see him.
Oh, that guy. Yeah. Truman Show.
Yeah.
Apollo 13. Yeah. All right. Yeah.
Also Canadian, I believe. I believe he's Canadian.
It'd be great if this would show me, but instead it's covered by his trailer here. It doesn't say anything about Canadian. That's interesting. Usually they do.
Something I heard somewhere.
Yeah. I'd love to prove you right or wrong. Nope. Born in Tennessee. Or sorry, New Jersey.
Dang. All right. Never mind.
Yeah.
I lied. I didn't say that.
Yeah.
Anyways,
we should just let it stand and people can correct us. Damn
sorry. Why did you look it up? Why'd you look it up? Ed Harris, Canadian confirmed. Thank you, Derek.
Yeah, Canadian. Exactly.
And
the University of Waterloo. No.
He's a hometown hero.
Yeah.
I rated National Treasure: Book of Secrets with an A.
Ooh.
Fun romp, good cagey bits, and that tax joke just is the coup de grace on that one. So
the other
icing on the cake, the
also
cherry on top.
A by us.
Yeah.
How much of it being a good movie boosted that up compared to being cagey?
I was gonna watch more. I actually watched National Treasure: Book of Secrets last night. Very fresh.
All right.
As I realized I haven't had time to watch. I
watched City of Angels. No, that was a couple days ago. That was Saturday. All right.
Yep. That is it.
Well, I think that's all I had written down. Yeah, don't forget about Valentine's Day, people.
Well, it's coming. 2 weeks away.
And watch Thelma.
And watch Thelma. And National Treasure, Book of Secrets.
You want to draft? Do a blind draft.
I need to do a hard out in like 5 minutes because I got to get to bed. So we can do it in 5 minutes.
I can sleep. I need to sleep.
That's
good. It's fine with me.
All right. Well, thank you everybody for hanging out with us, I guess. It's 2 hours. We're not as long as last episode. We're an hour shorter. You're welcome, everyone, especially Bill. Hopefully mic quality is up to standards this episode.
Sounds like it. Is Bill's up to
not standard? Like that STC episode.
I forgot about that. Thank you for mentioning that.
At least we have higher standards than some shows. Alrighty.
Everybody, February 1st is National Dark Chocolate Day. Also National Texas Day, National Get Up Day,
National Texas Day. All right, calm down, Texas.
Yep.
All right.
National Freedom Day. That might actually be an important one.
All right. Well, we'll give everyone their freedom from this episode. Thank you everyone for listening. We will see you all in March. Adios.